babies and she used the fee income to care for them.
Yeah.
But she soon realized that the money didn't last long, that it cost a lot of money to take care of multiple babies.
And also that was probably stressful as hell.
Yeah.
Alone and you're in grief and it's the Victorian times, you're a woman and you can't say anything. And then you have a billion children under the age of like 3 or whatever.
Yeah. She needed to pocket more of the money. And the only way to do that was to collect the fees and then get rid of the babies.
Oh, no.
So she soon began neglecting the babies and just letting them die of starvation, which is just fucking horrifying.
Not to mention, like, this might sound a little graphic, but that has to be very loud to hear. Like, don't you think at some point your natural instinct would kick in and you'd be like, I have to pick up this crying baby. Like, I can't let this baby cry anymore. Right?
So segue, she gave the babies an opium-laced syrup to keep them quiet.
They'd be all sleepy and stuff.
Yeah. So while they were starving, she would give them opium so they didn't cry.
They're in some weird dream state.
Amelia thought of that. So they never cried. And then she would call a doctor. The doctor would come, pronounce the baby dead, and she would act shocked at the premature death.
But yeah, wasn't the doctor like, why is this baby so skinny?
Not for years. So for years, no one suspected anything. Like for years, she got away with this.
Whoa.
Doctors were called over and over and over to come look at babies, pronounce them dead, and take their bodies away. Finally, after a few years, a doctor was like, yo, this seems weird. I should have noticed this 5 years ago after the first 300 babies. But, So in 1879, a doctor called authorities to make them aware of the insane amount of times he and other doctors had been called to Amelia's home to care for dying and dead babies. Police were like, cool, we'll look into it. They agreed it was suspicious, but decided it was only manslaughter suspicious, not murder suspicious. I have to say a side note. Every single time I write out manslaughter.
Because do you think it's man's laughter?
Yes. No, I mean, that's like what I tell myself in my head, but I'm like, oh, it's man's laughter is manslaughter. And I just think about that every time I write the word out and every time I hear it.
That's creepy.
I know.
Ew, I don't.
It freaks me out. Police decide it's man's laughter suspicious, but not murder suspicious. So she's arrested for manslaughter. She's sentenced to 6 months in a labor camp. That is all.
I mean, a labor camp, that is pretty brutal. I'm assuming it was back then, but...
And they don't even, like, from what I could tell, they don't even really dig into it because the doctors don't go back and, like, re-look at all the dead babies. Cops are just like, yeah, it seems weird. A lot of babies have died, but you didn't murder them. Like, it's just
that many babies shouldn't die in your care.
Yeah, but, like, just go work for 6 months and you'll be good.
No.
So she does her 6 months. She gets out. And this, just like Typhoid Mary, who gets a new job, she immediately goes and puts ads in the paper like, I'll take your babies for money.
No.
Yep. She thought this time she'd be more careful. No more calling doctors. If parents came back for a baby that had died, she'd just give them another baby.
Oh, my God.
Like, who would know the difference?
That's awful. Amelia.
Oh, that's not the worst.
I'm so disappointed in you.
And at this point, she actually begins to murder the babies with different methods. She gives them a lot more opium, so they OD. She doesn't want to create a pattern. Like, she's trying to be really careful. So now, like, she's not just letting them starve, which is fucking horrible. She's, like, murdering them faster.
I mean, maybe it's less painful for the baby, but also, like, it's creepy as hell, Amelia.
Yeah. Amelia also kept a close eye on authorities to make sure they weren't onto her. On a few occasions, this part's insane. Literally. On a few occasions, she felt like the police might be watching her. She did this multiple times. She would fake a breakdown. She would check herself into an asylum for a few days and say she was having suicidal thoughts. And then she'd wait it out and then she'd go home a couple days. And then police would kind of leave her alone a little bit after her outbreaks. And if that didn't work, she would pack up, move to a new town, and pick a different name and find new babies to adopt.
Oh, my God. That escalated very quickly. and she was undercover in new towns doing the same thing under new names. Yep. Okay.
So this helped her avoid police, and it also helped her avoid parents who were coming back looking for their children.
So you know that she knew what she was doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so she often would use the last name Thomas, which was her husband's that died last name. Yeah. At this point, Amelia is murdering babies within hours of taking them in.
Oh, my gosh.
And most of them she strangles with white dressmaking tape.
Ew.
And that will matter more, like, that'll make sense. And then she would wrap them in a cloth. And so remember, she's not calling doctors anymore. So she would strangle the babies, wrap them in a cloth, and either bury them or put them in the Thames tied to rocks.
I don't know how you could live with yourself strangling babies. Oh my God.
There's
like they're nothing. Like
there's nothing worse. Like there's nothing worse.
It is very similar. It's like strangling a puppy or a kitten. Like, how do you do that? How could you possibly go through with that? It's a baby.
Killing children literally goes against our human natural instincts to take care of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're literally programmed not to. We're not fucking spiders who eat. Like we're literally like biologically trained not to do that.
What do you think we are? Spiders?
Should put them in the Thames tied to rocks. Am I saying that right? It's the Thames, right?
I think it's the Thames.
You think it's the Thames? Just kidding. I asked. No, I'm. Then on March 30th, 1896, a bargeman on the Thames noticed something floating in the river.
Marie, let us know if we're right.
Like he saw like a package floating in the river. He pulled it from the water, and inside were the bodies of 2 babies, a little boy and a little girl.
Oh.
So of course he calls police.
Yeah.
The police noticed that on the package, kind of folded in the corner, it said Mrs. Thomas.
Oh my God.
And one article said that there was an address, which was out of Amelia. But like I only saw it in one, so I don't know. But somehow, either way, police traced the babies back to Mrs. Thomas, aka Amelia Dyer.
That's hilarious that her name was on it.
Yeah, but they were worried she'd run, or they, if they didn't have enough, like they didn't want her destroying things.
But I bet they also knew it was her, because if you look at mail from even like this is around the early 1900s, but like you could have just someone's name in the town they were in, and they would get the mail to them.
Yeah. But they're like, oh, what are we going to do? So they actually set a trap. So the police put an ad in the paper posing as a young woman. This is the original fucking that show where they're like, I'm a little girl. Come talk to me, pedophile.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
I was like, what shows have you been watching?
Catch a Predator.
Yes.
Police pulled a Catch a Predator, and they put an article in the paper, and they were like, I'm a young woman who wants to get rid of her baby, who would like to buy my baby. And Amelia was like, I'll fucking buy your baby.
She just pops up.
I'll buy your baby. When Amelia came to meet the woman, she was met by 4 police officers who took her into custody, and then they just ambushed her home and searched. When they entered, they immediately could smell like rotting flesh. Like they knew, but they did not find any bodies.
Well, then when she's like, I have 100 babies I take care of, and they're all so happy in my baby library.
They found but they didn't find any dead bodies.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. If she says she has a home of babies and there's no babies but smells and bloods, like,
there were live babies. Like, I assume so.
I thought you meant there were just like no babies on site.
There were no.
Either way,
there were no dead babies.
Okay.
No bodies.
Okay.
It didn't specify if there were live ones, so I guess I don't know. That's a good point. But they did find evidence in letters, newspaper ads with notes on them, and a shit ton of opium. So it didn't say what it was, but the police found evidence enough to charge her with murder. So Amelia used insanity as her defense in court. She was like, dude, I've been to insane asylums because I was suicidal. Like, I'm crazy. But the jury, it took them 4.5 minutes to find her guilty. They did not buy into it.
Good.
Police did end up finding a few other bodies in the river. It was different. One article said 3. She was charged with 3. One article said 6. It was hard to say. And she did admit to a couple. And when they pulled out some bodies and asked her, she was like, literally was like, oh yeah, the white tape. That's how I know that's mine.
Oh yeah.
It's horrible.
There's so many she can't even remember. She's like, is there, I think I did that one. Not sure.
Yeah. But even if they found 6, which is like the most the article said, police estimate that Amelia killed between 200 and 400 infants. And this is based on at the time she was working in baby farming and like how many they could track. Between 200 and 400.
Would that be the most prolific serial killer?
She is one of them, yes.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Like she's comparable to Jack the Ripper. And some articles ended with like, people think she's Jack the Ripper. No, that's a stretch.
I mean, that's not even the same at all.
Yeah, but she was, okay, are you ready for this?
Yes.
What's the date today?
June 10th, 2020.
She was hanged in public on June 10th, 1896. Exactly 124 years ago from today.
Weird.
Which I didn't even know until I got to the end of this research.
Wow, that's creepy.
I know. She was hanged today 124 years ago. That kind of gives me the chills.
The day we recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, geez. Okay.
Well, that's why I asked you, like, what's today's date? that gave me like chills when I read it. I like set my pen down and I was like, what voodoo box did I just open? Like, what am I doing?
Put it back. No, I can't get over. I keep thinking about the 4.5 minute jury though. They didn't even walk out of the room yet. By the time they got to the door, they were just like, let's go back. We know. Yeah.
Hang her.
We know.
After her execution, Britain established some adoption laws and they worked to prevent the selling of children, which is good. Amelia is certainly not the only baby farmer who murdered children, but she's by far the worst and probably one of the worst serial killers to ever. Well, one, you killed fucking babies, which like, if I could hang her 10 times, I'd hang her 10 times. I don't care.
Shame on you.
And like, even outside of her, like, baby farm, you just like, which,
yeah.
I mean, I can't, like, it was a different time and I can't judge, like, especially, well, the wealthy women I'm judging. Take care of your own fucking kid.
Or
bitch.
you can hire a nanny or something if you really like don't want to.
Yeah.
That's just garbage.
Times were garbage.
She's a garbage can.
It's fucked up. I didn't want to end on that because it's...
Yeah, there's really nothing to smile about there. I mean, at least there was justice for the babies, but like, is there ever justice for murdered babies?
Well, and okay, and I've said this before, but I feel like it's important to say, when I talk about a case like this, well, okay, so like I mean, I've cried on this podcast when Sarah's telling her story. I know a lot of times it sounds like I'm just reading this piece of paper about these babies that were murdered. We researched this ahead of time, and I mean, like,
it can be very hard. You have to put the pen down for a while.
Well, yeah, no, I cry and I kind of deal with it while I just want to like.
We're not insensitive to what's happening.
Right? Yeah, I'm not just. Yeah, I just want to make it clear that like I don't know. I dealt with my emotions and yelled at her and put my pen down and cried and then picked it back up. Tell you guys a story, so stop judging me.
I don't think anyone's judging you.
No, but this was a terrible fucking story, and when I came across it, I was like, "Who's it? What?"
Yeah, but baby farms, excuse me? Why is nobody talking about this?
Yeah. Well, you should hear about, if you're a history teacher, you should teach your kids about baby farms and about
history
Paddington Bear Triangle and about body farms and about whatever the story I did last time, the
Stonewall?
The Tammany Square, Tammany
Hall. Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of things I would feel like I should have learned in school.
Yeah, instead they're like, this is the time that we went all over the world and shared gift baskets and helped people build cities. I'm like, that's not how Thanksgiving worked, one. Like,
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to grab another beer.
We brought Starbucks to the Indians.
I thought you were going to say Starburst.
The Pilgrims and the Indians shared Starbucks.
Okay, maybe we gave them the yellow Starburst, but we still brought them Starburst. Mine is bad, but it's not like that.
Yeah, I know. I always feel like an asshole when I'm like, I'm going to go first because mine's bad and Sarah's isn't. But obviously it's bad. It's just not.
It's a different kind of bad.
Yeah. Sarah picked a nice dessert beer for us from Left Hand Brewing Company. I'm guessing it's in Oregon?
No, this is actually one Evan's friend left here, so I'm using it.
Oh, it's from Longmont, Colorado.
Oh, great.
It says brewed on the banks of the mighty Saint Vrain.
Ooh, say that again. I like that.
Brewed on the banks of the mighty Saint Vrain. Oh my God.
Have you ever worked in sex phones? I'm not sure if that's what they're called. Hold your bottom lip and make an O sound. Oh, right? Am I doing it?
Like draw out your O.
Oh. Why is that funny?
I watched a video and someone did that, but it was like this. Someone told, I think it.
Oh.
But the way she did it sounded like some drawn out sex sound, and she was like, "Oh my God, what just happened?" Like you could tell it freaked her out. She was like a teenager or something. She's like, "What?"
She's like, gross.
This beer is Peach Beerlini Radler. From our hand to yours. Do you think the owner is left-handed?
Probably. People who are left-handed love to say so.
Oh, it's
that's I can kind of get down with it. It doesn't taste like beer. It tastes kind of like champagne and fruit juice.
Okay, but not. I don't. It kind of smells. You know when you walk into a public bathroom and they have the spritz of things, but it smells like potpourri or flowers, but like the very fake smelling one. That's what this smells like.
It smells like a weird potpourri public poop.
It doesn't smell good. I like the taste of it. I hate the smell. I don't.
Are you able to drink it, or should we get a different one? I kind of hate it.
Yeah, it smells too much like a bathroom. I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm going to grab a different beer because I hate this.
It literally